Southwick here talking to Ed.
Ed Steinman.
Ed Steinman. You've been working here for how long, Ed?
I started in 1969.
69.
First game on April the 13th. I remember the day.
So do I. I was here.
You were in the audience, were you?
We sat in chairs at that time, folding chairs. There weren't enough bleachers for people.
I recall the day.
So
when the ground was so soft that we just had some snowstorms and
Yeah,
we had some snow over the right field wall there. People were standing on the snowbanks. You recall those days?
Oh yes, great time. Jerry Park was great, I think. Tell me, we were just talking before you came on board about the anemic small crowds that the Expos have collected in the last year, or maybe in the last few months. Does that mean the demise? Does that mean that the Expos won't be here next year?
Well, that's something we just don't know. I mean, there's no talk about them leaving in any way possible. And of course, it all depends on the strike, the possible walkout that might happen in November. So I guess there's just no way they can move. We do feel we will be back for another year at least.
Well, that'll make us feel good in the North Country anyway.
Well, it will make me feel good too, because I'm going to miss it really a lot, because this has been very much part of my life.
Tell me, over the years you've worked with, and that's somebody else we miss, is Dave Van Horn and then the late Russ Taylor.
I knew them both personally.
Great announcers, I thought, didn't you?
Oh yes, I knew them so personal, and I had lunch with them, and even Dave I seen down in Florida this year, and he's working with the Marlins. I went to visit him.
Does he announce for the Marlins
yes,
now?
Yes, he's working with the Florida Marlins at this time.
Well, that's good. Tell me something about this team. As far as quality players, you have at least three great players that I think any major league team would like to have. Vasquez, and of course Guerrero, and Vidro, and Cabrera too. So you really have, I think, in many positions.
You forgot one. You forgot a good pitcher in Vasquez.
That's what I said. I mentioned him at the beginning.
Oh, did you really mention him?
Yeah. And, these are quality players, and you would think that with quality players that would attract a better audience, wouldn't you?
Well, people are just fed up, and we lose all our good players. And when we develop a good player, and after 5 years, they let them go, and they go to free agency and leave the city, and they can see why people are get fed up.
Tell me, over the years, the greatest and most colorful players that you've seen on the Expos.
Well, I gotta say Rusty Staub. I mean, I liked him the best, and I could say Andre Dawson.
Right.
And then, of course, was Tim Wallach. The ones that my favorites, my greatest favorite of all was Bob Bailey in the first couple of years.
Right. I remember those, and John Boccabello.
Oh, I sure do.
Coco LaBoy.
I sure do.
In Jonesville. People love to be out in Jonesville.
I guess we both go back a long way, do we?
Yes. So, if you were to pick an all-star Expo team over the years, who would you position?
Oh, okay. First base, I'd say Galarraga.
Right.
Second base, I don't know who would be a good second base. Maybe Mike Lansing, I guess. Shortstop would be Chris Spire. I used to like a lot. Third base, I always liked Larry Parrish and Tim Wallach.
Right.
And left field, I liked Mac Jones in the first year. I mean, that's one of my favorites. Center field, I say Andre Dawson, and right field right now, Vladimir.
Right.
I think.
And then, of course, there's some other good players in that outfield, like Valentine.
Well,
he didn't develop, but he was great for a couple of years.
He could have been. He could have been very good.
And the ones that you've lost, like Larry Walker, Canadian player, but
we lost a lot of good ones.
Right. What about managers over the years? Which managers have you?
Well, Gene Mauch is one I liked. I've always liked the ones that started with us in 1969. When I go back that far, these are the ones that are my favorites. I like Gene Mauch.
Of course, Philippe Ballou.
Great, I liked him too.
Yeah,
I liked him too.
Did you understand the move that took place?
Well, I thought they had to stir something up. I mean, the team was going nowhere at all. The team was very dull. They had to stir something up, get some publicity or so on. They had to make a move somewhere along the line. So I do feel that possibly was the right move at that time. But the team hasn't got any better since Jeff Torberg took over.
No, it's apparent. It's apparent. Tell me some of the greatest opponents that you've seen. What do you recall as some of the greatest players that have played against the Expos?
Well, I got to go back to the Cincinnati Reds in those days with Perez and Concepcion and Al Oliver, and I got to go back to that team. I thought was the best team that I've seen come into Montreal, and of course the Pittsburgh Pirates on the '79. What years they were great? 78, 79, 80, right. And they were fabulous team. And don't forget our team in 1994. We were sensational. We had such a beautiful time here with 35,000 people at every game, and then the strike hit us.
Yeah, that was sad to see that strike come, and it really, it almost destroyed the Expos for years to come, I guess.
Well, let's look at it. It probably did. That had a lot to do with our downfall.
Tell me, do you think that if a new stadium were somehow to develop, would that make a difference?
Oh, it has to make
attendance?
a difference. Yes, it would. It would make a major difference if we got a new stadium. We would get big crowds. And they were always saying we had to sell 18,000 season tickets before they would start to dig. And if they would get that, I mean to say, the first few years it would be, I'm sure we'd get 30 to 40,000 people every game, because we got enough fans in this city. And like I said before, these people are just fed up of what they've done to the team.
I think that's true. I look back to my early days and living in northern New York and watching the Montreal Royals play. They always drew well.
Well, they did the last couple of years.
Right.
They didn't draw well at all. But I mean, when we started in '46, it goes back to my time when Jackie Robinson, of course, played. We had really big crowds in those days, 46, 47, 48.
Yes.
But then the later years, and 1957, 58, we were just getting 500-600 people a game, and that's all we were getting.
It really fell off.
It fell off. Once the Dodgers left and Montreal became an independent team in those days, it's really fell down. So that's why the team had to leave then. And I never thought we'd ever get baseball back again, and we did in '69.
What do you think there is about this stadium that fans don't like?
I love the stadium. I think we have good. I could see from my vantage point here, and I think it's a lovely stadium. Why people don't like it? Well, they had trouble here with a beam falling down and the roof caving in a couple of years back, and it's indoors. You know, come summertime, people love to be outdoors, and I think that's got a lot to do with it. But I don't think the stadium is the fault that people are not coming. I just think the people are just fed up with what they did to the team, and how we lost all the real good players.
Of course, the exchange may have something to do with it. The money that can be made by American players in American cities, I guess it's hard to compete up here, is it? Is that a factor?
Well, we got to pay in American dollars. Right. And you say a man's getting $6 million. It's not $6 million to the Montreal Expos. It's $9 million. And our prices here are very, very cheap to get into a ball game. It's only $8 to get into a ball game. And when you look around, they can sit anywhere. And the prices are just great, especially when an American comes in, you know. It costs them $5, and they see millionaire performers on the field.
I agree.
Best value of any sports event is baseball here in Montreal.
Now, Calvin and I were talking about that on the way up today, about the price of tickets, just the whole value, and it's easy to get to. I've never had a whole lot of problem with this stadium. I haven't gone as often here as I used to go to Jerry Park.
Well, come more often. We need the attendance.
Well, it's good talking to you.
Okay, now I just want to show you what my type of job would be. If you would just picture the board up there, and that is my board, and it's very simple, like a ball. You see, it goes up there, strike, and you see, okay, and if there's a hit, I just press hit, and see the one goes up there if it's in the air. If there's a run in the inning or something like that, you see a run, or 2 runs, 3 runs. It's a very, very simple job, you know. It's but my whole job is concentration. I gotta concentrate on every pitch. And if I look away, if somebody disturbs me, if I miss a pitch, well, some players go with the count on the board. They play different positions if there's two strikes on the batter, and I gotta get it right. I've got to get it right. Many times, if I do have a mistake on the board, the umpire will go ahead and signal and say 2 and 2, and I got 3 and 1, and I'll just change it. But some umpires don't even look at the board at all. And if I have a mistake, it just lies there, and the guys have the 2 strikes, and he swings at that pitch. Everybody cheers that he he struck out, and he just stands there because the count was only 1-1 instead of 0-2. So my job is strictly in concentration. I have to, follow everything that goes on in the game in order to get the job done right. And I feel over the years I really, really did it well. And I missed only 6 games.
I was going to ask you how many games.
I missed 6 games in 33 years.
That's
never
amazing.
got sick. I never was in a hospital. The only times I missed was family event or something like that, family wedding, a family funeral, and I make sure this is number 1 on my priority, that I have to be here.
No, that's good. That's a testament to your dedication to the sport and to the Expos too.
I just love baseball, and I'm going to miss it if we're not here anymore. If anybody will miss it, it'll be me.
Hopefully it'll be at least another year, and then maybe a stadium will come about. Maybe we'll have better crowds.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Maybe some of Northern New York will come up and buy the team.
We don't have enough fans to support it, but we'll try anyway.
I'll get the people from Plattsburgh or so area to come up here, and then they used to come a lot up here, and we don't see them too much anymore. We used to get a lot of people from a lot of tourists from Northern New York State, and we just don't see them very much. A lot of people did come up in the Boston series.
Oh, yes.
Well, we had 33,000 people. It was really an exciting time.
A lot of Boston fans in our area, and of course the Northeast itself.
And
sure.
Vermont, and
Sure.
oh yeah.
Well, it's good talking. Any questions you have?
Yeah, I just wanted, you probably can't make a living 81 days a year. What do you do besides this while you're all these years?
We had a family department store here in the city of Montreal on St. Lawrence Boulevard, which we closed in '91. Business just went downhill, and we liquidated, and we sold the building. And I'm in full retirement now. I spend all my winters in Florida, right near Jupiter, where the spring training camp is. And that's what I do. As soon as the baseball season's over on the 27th, on the 28th, I hit the road and go down south and play some tennis and play some golf. And that's my life from now on. Just got to stay healthy.
How did you happen to get this job in the first place? I mean, this is a plum job, obviously.
Well, I also happen to be a basketball official here in the city of Montreal. I officiate basketball for many, many years, which I'm doing right now in the state of Florida. So it came 1968. There's a fellow by the name of Lou Martin who became our director of operations. And he came from Richmond, Virginia, and he was a basketball referee himself in the Big Ten. And we knew about it, so we invited him to join our board here in Montreal, which he did. And about 5 of us got jobs. And that's how it really came about. And out of those 5, I'm the only one left.